the absolute carnage in Bitcoin, software companies, Mag sevens, private equity or private capital, private credit. So one thing I do want to call out, all right, yes, obviously Bitcoin crashing from 120, 124K, I think at the top back in July,
I want to
August,
say
or no,
it's, yep.
I think it hit in October. It was at an all-time high.
Yeah, I want to say so.
Um, yeah, for the daily. Um, it's just plummeting to 65,000, 66,000. We're hearing the eulogies being delivered on Bitcoin. This is, I mean, just par for the course. We've seen it before. Hang in there, everybody who's just taken the abuse. Um, what I do want to call out here, the correlation between your 2010s era SaaS software, cloud analytics. I was much younger then, 10 to 15 years younger, just coming out of, first few years out of college. Everything then was about cloud and SaaS. These were financed by ZERP policies, cheap money, um, central bank balance sheet expansion, all the above. With the think about the narratives we're seeing in the headlines this week. This week it became really apparent to me. People are calling out the agentic AI creative destruction of all of that equity capital that was basically financed, built out, whatever in the 2010s up until recently, right? So these cloud and SaaS software stocks. I've got the proxy up there with the First Trust Cloud Computing ETF or SKYY, getting absolutely pummeled as well. If you model these analytically, daily returns, there's a pretty clear relationship. Basically, Bitcoin follows like a 1.5 beta if you measure your base as these cloud computing, software analytics plays. And if you plot those out, it's really the same trend, right? So if you've heard in the Bitcoin space, this big theme that everybody's hoping for, watching for is the Bitcoin decoupling from the NASDAQ. Um, that has not happened yet, and it continues to look like in this case. I think what we're seeing is a liquidity pullback. We've talked about the dollar cycle, the offshore dollar being restrained by the domestic U.S. Financial system and regulatory players. Now you're seeing that liquidity pullback from the yen. So this is a liquidity suck environment globally. Bitcoin itself is an FX pair. What you're seeing is Bitcoin getting sold to buy dollars. What that is reflecting is a need for liquidity just amongst players in the system. And then when you look at that tech stock decoupling theme, with Bitcoin's kind of ascent and first gaining its initial investor base of early adopters in the 2010s, there's a heavy overlap between, say, venture capitalists, tech entrepreneurs, individuals from that area. The portfolio holdings, if you look at your individual Bitcoin investor, they're probably someone who was also focused on technology investments in this 2010s era. All of that with this narrative on Moltbook and agentic AI just coming in. It's like, hey, those are, you're looking at a lot of zeros there is what, financial headlines are telling you. So those are getting sold. There was a lot of credit basically backstopped and collateralized by these investments. So as portfolios go to sell, they get margin called, they need to raise dollars. And in this global kind of liquidity environment where we talked about offshore dollar, dead. Japanese, offshore yen carry trade, dead. All right, gold's running up as the only game in town to basically accommodate for that. But in that liquidity environment, and then these other themes, AI, creative destruction, and then you've also got to look at the U.S. economy. We're doing this industrial build out. That is balance sheet capital intensive, right? That takes dollar capital. So that reindustrialization is also sucking in liquidity for investment.
Right.
All of this is playing into the sell-off we're seeing in Bitcoin. I don't think it fundamentally reflects anything changed with the Bitcoin story. I've seen, funerals at every cycle. What I'm seeing, in our own kind of private business engagements, decisions being made, I wouldn't see these decisions happening. We'll just like I won't get into them because they are non-public, but we wouldn't see these things happening if other firms involved in credit lending across global money centers didn't see a future continued Bitcoin ascent as where the puck is going in Wayne Gretzky terms.
Absolutely.
So for the longs out there, it is painful. I don't want to make it a joke. Like nothing is funny about this. But just ride it out. This is a cycle. And yeah, sorry we had to go through this pain, but this was part of the process. Tech stocks as well. I mean, technically everything, right? You even see a pullback on silver, gold, precious metals. There is a rush to liquidity right now. Hopefully, I've described it. All of these things are playing into the fold, and Bitcoin is the liquidity tip of the spear. That is where kind of the brunt of the force is being funneled into and felt. So that's my opinion on what's going on. And Cameron, you have one more closeout on what we're seeing from Claude, new models in action here. That was
Yeah.
an interesting call out.
Yep. Today, actually, the breaking news is that Claude released Opus 5.2. I personally use Claude a lot. I know, other people look at Codex for GPT, things like that. But the main difference here, I think it's very easy to get caught up in the, what's the new model? How's that going to affect, Intuit, whatever it is, which I put up previously. But I think what Matt is hitting on is the actual underlying trend that is happening. There is zero way, and you can see it on the chart, there is zero way that Claude Cowork release is what caused all of this, right? That's you're going to hear about it in the news. They're talking about the SaaSpocalypse. It's all because of Claude Cowork. I'm sure it adds to the story, but the trend that Matt is describing is the actual thing to be paying attention to.
Keep your wits about you. This is somebody's narrative. They want you to believe this. AI is real. It is going to be a very impactful technology, will be productivity enhancing. But this idea that Skynet's here, we're all going to be, I don't know, back to
Yeah,
serfs, field
it's,
servants.
it's
Like,
not there
let's
yet.
dial it back.
Yep.
Yeah, the apocalypse is not here. Uh, don't be surprised after this all plays out. Give it a few years. The world didn't end, is basically what I'm saying here. All right.